cap up, whoosh. I immediately covered, oh no!
Along these roads we roam, we find adventure through traveling, camping, boondocking, and exploring.
Hello everybody and welcome to Vlogcast episode number 38. My name is Russ.
I'm Kerry.
And we are the roads we roam. We are a couple living in our little guy Max full time. We do this vlog 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday we have a Faces and Places video. Basically we take the camera with us everywhere we go and you get to see what we've been seeing and also what we've been talking about throughout these daily vlogs. Then we get two opportunities where we actually get to talk to you guys live on YouTube. That is Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern and again Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I have to say, those are my favorites.
You actually looked surprised when you said 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Did it just hit you?
No, but it's crazy that we do 8 videos. I'm holding 5. 8 videos a week.
You were really good in school, weren't you?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it is a lot of work, but it's something that we're doing together. It's our project.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's fun. It's letting us connect with a lot of people that I don't think we would have met or known otherwise,
yep.
Whether it be in person or online.
Very true, very true.
So it's a labor of love. We love it, and we thank you for watching.
Yes, definitely. So where are we?
You don't know.
Yeah, I just went where you told me to go.
If y'all watch some of our videos in the past, Russ usually gets where we are wrong.
Yeah. Like I said, the phone tells you where to go, you tell me where to go, and I just drive.
He gets the general direction, but then when he's reporting it, I bless his heart, he tries, and it's usually not the right place. But today we're in Tavares, Florida.
Yeah, see? Nope.
You would have never guessed that in a million.
I knew we were in Florida.
And he knew we were at a blueberry farm.
Yes. Tonight is our first harvest host.
Yeah. So what are we doing at a blueberry farm?
Yes.
Harvest host. So when I got frustrated trying to figure out where we would go in Florida in late December, January, peak RV season, I guess.
Without a year's advance.
Without, you know, I was getting very, very frustrated. And so I realized we had our Harvest Hope membership.
So we're on a farm.
Yes.
And there went one of the farm vehicles. Very cool farm vehicle, by the way. I would love to work at this farm just to drive that.
Would. So the first place we picked, it's Far Beach Ranch.
Yes. Very cool, I have to say.
It's in Tavares. Pulled up. People could not have been nicer.
Yep.
And they greeted us as soon as we pulled up. You know, the way you make the reservations with Harvest Host, you cannot do that online. They ask you to call them, which
I prefer that.
I prefer that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the gentleman just said, let us know about what time. Call me 30 minutes out so we can make sure we have someone here to greet you and tell you where to park. And they were ready and waiting for us.
Yeah.
They met us. What was funny, though, is as we walked in, there was another family there who are also Harvest Host guests.
And
it was their first time as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like such a newbie.
Well, everybody's kind of new. We're new. The other family that's here is new. Can't even see them, really. They're way over there.
Yeah.
And they've only been doing it for less than a year.
Yeah, the Far Reach Ranch, less than a year they've started it, so they were very happy. You walk in to their office,
oh, it's
which
beautiful.
Gorgeous wall of custom-built cabinetry, and then they have it filled to the brim with blueberry jams and jellies and
salsa.
Blueberry salsa. Ooh. Russ was upset because we did not have any tortilla chips.
I know, but I wasn't waiting. I grabbed the Lay's and dug into it.
Yeah, he grabbed potato chips.
Hey.
I don't think it's the same. I want to think of something to cook with it and try it that way.
If there's some left, because on the way out, there is a gas station and a McDonald's and a Publix. I'm getting tortillas at one of those. Probably not McDonald's, but...
Okay.
So if it's left, I mean, if we have anything left by the time you're cooking with it, have at it.
And if you don't know yet, Harvest Host charges a one-time membership fee. It's $49 from now until the end of the year.
What a deal.
Well, starting January 1st, it goes up to $79.
That's why I'm saying.
So if you want to do this, I have a link that I'm putting below. It will help us out a little bit, but it gives you a discount, and you get to keep that and lock that in for the year.
Yeah.
And when you come to these places, they're all free. The only thing they ask is if they do sell things here that you consider purchasing something, but you don't have to.
Yeah, and we did, because there are a lot of things that we were looking at
and
getting.
I love blueberries.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we get to stay here tonight. We spent $17, but, we got to stay here. We got some amazing foods. It's a good thing. And I just want to kind of backtrack. Kerry said, that does help us out. Full disclosure, we will get a little bit of a kickback off of that, but you're saving yourself $30 if you do it now. And we're newbies, but I got to tell you, this first experience is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one tomorrow night.
Well, you know what I loved? You pull in, and a lot of these places are at farms or wineries, all sorts of different places. You've got a lot of room. Yes, there's another camper over there, but we've got
Can't even see them.
More room and privacy than we would have at a campground.
Yeah. Can I jump ahead? I don't know where you had this put, but about the guy that stopped the farmhand.
All right, I'll let you talk about it now.
So I'm out there, kind of setting up, and he's driving by, and as he's driving by, he's saying out the window, he goes, "Hey, I love your rig." I was like, "Hey, thanks, man." And then he stopped. He goes, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." So I go over there, and he's like, "How much was that?" So I told him, and he's like, "Man, I got to tell you." He said, "Out of all the rigs that I've seen come in, that one's the coolest." He says, "I love those aggressive all-terrain tires." I said, "Yeah, I love it too." This is a, I can't even think, I'm so excited. This is a, I was saying Roads We Roam version. We
Rough
really
Rider.
made it if they made a Roads We Roam version.
This is a Rough Rider
That's
edition.
right. I said it's a Rough Rider version. It's got, an extra couple of inches. It's got those really cool tires on there. So
he got all excited because we got compliments.
yeah, well, I like getting compliments on my stuff. But no,
Yeah.
he really said that was the best looking rig I've seen yet.
I will say the little guy Max does look sharp coming down the road, and we saw at least 80 RVs.
Oh yeah.
Driving not at campgrounds and not on the road today, coming here, and not a single one was a
Well,
little.
Florida's jam-packed with them, and I understand why, because today it was 80 degrees out.
Glorious.
A low of 61
and now
tonight.
we have the windows open.
Look at that.
And yes, the windows are open. It's only supposed to get down to 61 tonight.
It's so warm I didn't have to wear my hat. You guys always, I think this is the first time I've been on video without a hat.
Russ has hair.
Yes.
On his head.
I just didn't have any gel. It was just flat. But anyways, nobody wants to talk about my hair.
No. You got your bit in the video, and that's it. No more about your hair.
Okay, so moving on. Sorry about that.
That's okay. But no, one of the other thing about Harvest Toast, they all offer a little bit of a different thing. Now, this one was purely a dry setup. We pulled in, and that's it. They're not offering any hookups or anything like that, so you're truly boondocking. Which leads me to the topic of the day, because here we are being so proud of ourselves, thinking we are getting this down. We're prepared. We know this. And then we made some more newbie mistakes.
Yeah, so
several today.
Yeah. So,
So
and one of them was really good.
So today's topic are newbies' mistakes that Russ and Kerry have made.
Yes.
And so
yes.
maybe you can
You
learn
feel
through
that breeze?
us. Yes,
oh
I can.
My goodness.
You're trying to deflect from the attention that's going to be focused on.
Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for joining us.
All right. So let's start with, we stopped at Ross Prairie Campground on the way here to dump the tanks because we had been boondocking at your mom's.
Mooch docking.
And so we were mooch docking there. So we swung through to dump our tanks. And
so
what happened, Russ?
Okay, so I got to set this up a little bit. So about a week ago, we filled our Blue Boy up because we weren't leaving yet. So I dumped the black tanks and the gray tanks into there and went to Ross Prairie, dumped the Blue Boy there. You'll see that in the video last Saturday. Go check that one out. But what I hadn't done.
So today we drove up there with the trailer.
Trust me, I'm not skipping anything.
Okay.
But after I did that, I didn't close the gray tanks. So, the process you do that, you dump your black tank, and then you dump your gray tank. The gray tank flushes everything into, through the hose.
Okay, got it.
Well, then what you're supposed to do, I had closed the black tank, but I didn't close the gray tank. So now we drive to Ross Prairie. I get the RV set up. The camp hosts are there talking with Kerry, and I'm going to hook everything up. And I get all the hoses hooked up, the elbow hooked up to the actual tank, the dump area. I come over to connect to our tanks, open the cap up, whoosh. I immediately covered. Oh no! You know, and I'm like, please, Lord, tell me that wasn't the black tanks. I pretty much knew it wasn't because the chemicals we put in there is green, and this wasn't green. It was just kind of off gray, you know. So, yeah. Long story short, what I did was I never closed the gray tank. So as soon as I took that cap off, it came out. It was just a little bit got out. But anyways, close the tank. Go ahead and
rule of thumb,
dump.
You will not see that on the Faces and Places. You will only hear it here because the camp host, the volunteer host, had come over to talk to me just as I was getting ready to go set up to film Russ.
I was glad they were talking to her and not standing over by me.
That was the first thing he said to me. He's like, I'm so glad you were talking to them during that time because they didn't see what I did.
Well, and then another couple that really loved the little guy Max.
That was the whole reason why they came over.
Yeah.
We had pulled in. The gentleman greeted Russ and walked him over to go pay for the fee, and the woman had come over on the side, and I saw her just looking, so I jumped out to see her, and she just said, I just came to come and look at this. It was so cute. I'm like, would you like to look inside? Can I? So unlocked the door. Thankfully, I followed my rules, and I had everything cleaned up.
Everything up.
But she poked her head, and she absolutely loved it.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot to not like about this unit. Okay, so what is the next one? Hopefully it was your mistake.
On that one. Let's see. Well, we can. I'll spare you the one from today. We'll run around a little bit.
Okay.
Here. So when we first started camping, we were running our furnace when we were in Alabama, things like that, off of propane. We were just running the furnace because we had a furnace button. And
now, bear in mind, we were plugged in. Yeah.
So this was before we ever found out that we had any furnace issues or anything. And then one of our faithful viewers mentioned to us, why don't you just run a portable space heater when you're plugged in? That way you're
it's
not
free.
going through your
You're already paying for the electricity.
Duh.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are things you just don't think of. Now where I'm like, duh, you know, it seems common sense, but no, I mean, it never entered our mind.
So when we're plugged in, we now know if it gets a little chilly, we will use the little space heater that we have rather than running through our propane, because propane's more expensive.
Okay.
All right. So, battery cutoff, not charging, not driving. So this was part of our today. We were so proud of ourselves. And then we get here, we turn everything off, we come back into the trailer.
I noticed the battery's way low. And it shouldn't have been because we were plugged in for a week or more.
We were sitting in the sun.
Yeah, we were driving in the sun today. We were plugged into the 7-pin tow package that we have. All of those should have charged. The plugging in should have charged it. The solar as we were driving should have charged it.
So
and
why
the
wasn't
pins,
it charged?
Because I had been messing with this jack that I've been having problems with. And I was checking to see if it was a battery issue, and I turned the battery cutoff on, so it wasn't getting anything. It'll charge for all those things, but if you've got the battery cut off, it's not going to charge. So
if we suddenly go black?
No. So what I'm going to do, as soon as we get done with this, I'm going to plug the Energizer generator inverter in, and we're going to charge our batteries up. So.
Okay.
All right.
So lesson learned on that one.
Yeah.
All right, then we have not installing the weight distribution bars correctly.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Well, twice. It's really just once. It was just one bar and then the others. So we had just realized before we take that whole heavy hitch along with the bars off, and then we'd plug it into the back hitch area of the little
just
guy
to
Max.
Lock it in.
Yeah, and that's heavy. And all of a sudden I started realizing, I was like, well, we can drop these bars and just leave the hitch on the truck. So that's what we started doing. But when you put those in, you need to make sure you watch. There's these little clips, these little brass clips on ours, and you don't just put it in because it will stay, and you need to push it in, and then kind of like I jerk mine up, and then you'll see that brass clip pop out, and then boom, pop back in, and that's when it's locked into the grooves in those things.
So what happened with us is we were pulling out of a campground.
Yep.
And thankfully we had the windows down, and we hear a ta-ding.
Yeah, you heard a ta-ting, and then you hear.
So we stopped. We pulled over. We stopped. Russ jams that one in, and then we start pulling out again, and then the other one.
I wish it was easy as jams that other one in, because we had to take tension off and drop the smart jack and everything. Yeah, but so anyways, did it once on both sides. Never again, though. We haven't done that again.
All right. Well, here's one bad on me.
Good.
Make sure before you leave to lock the door.
Oh, yeah.
I had done all the background, the checks, but I forgot that I had to throw something in last second. So I had to unlock the doors, put them in, and totally forgot that I had unlocked the doors. And we start pulling down the road, and the door swung open and then swung shut again. Thankfully, there was no damage. Nothing happened with it.
Mm-hmm.
But lesson learned on that one, I always double and triple check now.
Well,
I have OCD on checking those door locks
Well,
now.
that almost happened again today, but thankfully, because of what happened, after she showed that lady at Ross Prairie the inside, Kerry says she remembered locking it, but then the husband came over and he wanted to see in. So she opened it back up, and we were just pulling out. She's like, you know what? Stop. I don't know if... I know I locked it when the woman looked at it, but I can't remember if after the guy. Sure enough, it wasn't locked. So you learned your lesson.
I did.
Yep.
All right. So then we have, this is another one for me.
Okay.
Forgetting to secure the cabinets. So I learned this early on. I've talked before about my little spider web of bungee cords.
Yeah.
And I was so focused on those that I have the upper cabinets over the sink, that I have a special band that I put around it, and I forgot the band one time. And when we stopped at a gas station, I went to go get something out of the trailer.
Yep.
And when I opened it up, I had all my books and everything that I had stored up in there.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 3-ring binder that had just fallen down. And
everywhere.
All the papers, everything were just all over the inside of the trailer. It was just
That's not too bad, though.
No, I mean, that's why I purposely don't keep anything too important in that upper one, just for that very reason.
Yep.
But again, so I double checked that one. All right, and then one of our very first trips that we have on the video that he tried to blame me for.
You forgot the hose.
Yeah, I didn't forget the hose. Someone else forgot the hose,
but
and it wasn't Abby or Billy.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot the hose, but we needed another hose anyway. So now we have one hose that we use for our water and one hose that we use to rinse out our sewer lines with.
People that are watching, we've been questioned once before, because I know that they sell other color ones for the sewer or for the other things. We actually have 2 hoses that if you buy them, they're labeled as water hoses, but one is not. Yeah,
one we just use to rinse out the sewer hoses with. And that's stored in with the sewer hoses.
I was going to ask you, because I don't do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to go
that's stored in with the sewer hoses in a sealed bin in the back of the truck, and then in the pass-through over here is where our water stuff is.
So speaking of hoses, I'm going to move on now to some of our viewer comments, because this is...
I know where you're going. This was brilliant.
Yeah, it was one of those light bulb moments, like, why didn't we think of this?
Yeah.
So we were talking before about how when we cleaned the pass-through, that some of the water that had been in the hoses, when we throw stuff
leaked
in,
out,
leaked out, and it caused damage. So Kate Lyons, she said, basically, let me read it real quick, because...
Oh, no, we don't need to read it, because you don't have to be verbatim.
Right.
Kate said, Russ, why don't you just connect both ends of those hoses? That'll make sure that anything left inside those hoses doesn't leak out. And I was like, oh my goodness. It was kind of like with the whole space heater deal.
Yes.
I was like, duh. I mean, it was so simple. It was brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
And I think she said KV showed her that trick.
Ah.
So thank you to both of you. That's how we're doing it from now on.
Yeah, and we are open, people, for any other suggestions, because We are obviously not the experts.
No.
We're just sharing our experiences.
Yeah,
and
you
can
guys will
learn
be
from us.
experts if you follow us religiously, because
And don't
we'll
do
make
what
them
we
all.
do.
Yeah. We'll make all the mistakes.
And then we wanted to do a quick shout out to Stacy.
Another great comment.
Well, and she sent just a really nice message. She joined us on our coffee,
Yeah.
but she was on her Kindle, so she wasn't able to interact.
Yeah.
But she said very complimentary things about our son Brett.
Yep.
And so, thank you, Stacy. It's always a pleasure to hear
She
from you.
also mentioned that we are going to be the what is it?
Wikipedia
for Newbie RVers with our daily stuff, and that's because we make a lot of mistakes.
But we learn from it. See, it's okay if you make mistakes as long as you learn from them.
Yes.
So
I agree.
that's good. And then I did want to do an announcement because I was watching the news with the government shutdown and how that may affect RVers.
Yeah.
And it was brought up, national parks.
Yeah. A lot of them, I saw that they were closed, but you did a little bit of research.
So I'm going to read.
I have to do this. I'm sorry. I just saw a mosquito.
Oh.
Got to close that
Didn't even realize
screen.
that was open. Okay, so I'm going to read from the National Park Service.
Yeah.
It's about a paragraph, so bear with me, but it's informative, and then we'll do a quick summary.
Yep.
So they said, effective immediately upon a lapse in appropriations, the National Park Service will take all necessary steps to suspend all activities and secure national park facilities that operate using appropriations that are now lapsed. Except for those that are essential to respond to emergencies involving the safety of human life or protection of property. So what they're saying there is only emergency services. They're not staffing. They said parks must notify visitors that the NPS will cease providing visitor services, including restrooms, trash collections facilities, and road maintenance, including plowing, campground reservation and check-in, check-out services, backcountry and other permits, and public information.
Yeah.
So it says the parks may still be accessible to visitors. Parks may not use the presence of visitors in the park to justify higher staffing numbers. So they said visitors can still be there, but it's going to limit. And really, I did kind of a quick note so we know they'll remain open.
Yep.
No services. So you can't get any permits if you want to do the backcountry thing. So if you are going out in the backcountry without a permit, you're still in violation of things. So
Yeah, just because you can't get it doesn't mean it doesn't
Right.
count.
No educational programs, no trash collection, no restroom cleaning, no check-in and check-out. Now, what's important about that, I checked a couple of the national parks. Certain areas will stay open, but when the trash areas become full and overrun, where it's a safety issue,
Yeah, sanitary
type issue, then they'll close those specific areas down.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So
I'm guessing right now, just because I used to be a federal law enforcement officer, and I know the cops will stay on, so National Park Service LEOs will be there, and probably
emergency services.
their EMT individuals. Yeah, so.
I mean, if you're in a...
That darn mosquito. I think I got him. Nope. When you were talking, I went, boom, I hit my head. I didn't even get it. Anyways,
There he is.
yeah, let's press on. Let's.
Okay.
I gotta get that mosquito. All right, guys, thank you so much for all your comments. Especially loved Stacy's. But no, thank you so much for your comments, your tips, your concerns, your questions. A lot of times we use those to form show topics, so keep them coming. Kerry, why don't you tell them where they can send those questions to us?
You can get a hold of us at theroadsweroam.com. We're on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and you can download any of our vlogs on iTunes and Spreaker with our podcast.
Definitely, guys. So thank you so much. Please give us a thumbs up and
like.
subscribe.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.